I had that glow. You know, the one you have when you meet the love of your life at a wedding in Hawaii, and he wants to make you his forever. The one you have when you know that nothing can go wrong at 36. Well, it only took 3 little words to dim my light. I felt like I was jumped in a game, given these colors, the color pink. I soon learned there was nothing pretty in pink. Managing the ebbs and flows after a breast cancer diagnosis was never ending. Our life together was just beginning, but we had no future in sight. I'm now standing here in my chemo glow, willing to share my moments, because I soon learned that the glow doesn't define me. I define the glow. Hi guys, welcome to Chemo Glow, where the glow doesn't define me, I define the glow. Guys, that video gets me every time. I don't get nervous until I see that video because that is my glow. That's the reason why I'm doing this. So I'm also so proud that I'm able to say that the glow doesn't define me, I define the glow. And if you guys want to share your glow, please go to chemoglow@gmail.com. Send me something. Tell me about your glow. It's not just about cancer. It's not just about chemo. It's not just about this journey that everybody says that we're on. I'm talking about how you define your glow through whatever you've been going through. If you're joining us on YouTube, please subscribe so you know when we're coming back out. It's been a crazy year. I had to take some time because a lot of people that I love have been diagnosed with cancer. And quite a few people that I love have passed away from cancer. So I want to continue to define my glow and share their stories. So make sure you please share, follow, and subscribe. We are also on Instagram. Now, Instagram is always constant. It's always going. I have someone behind that Instagram that is pushing it. So please check us out on Instagram. You know when stuff is going on. We love Instagram. Of course, we're on Facebook at the Chemo Glow. So please make sure you check us out there. And we're still on Twitter. We'll see how long that lasts. So check us out on Twitter as well. And you can check us out on our website at chemoglow.com. I'm excited. I'm excited about our guest tonight because this is totally different. You talk about connections, right? So we're talking about connections and how I met my guest. Well, as you know, I am an ambassador for Making Strides Against Breast Cancer. I hosted the walk this year with Rod and with Mike and one of his colleagues. It was a wonderful time. But for this walk, they wanted to do something different. They wanted to do something that the survivors, thrivers, caregivers, everyone can enjoy. So I called my sister. Y'all know my sister is like TikTok queen out here, right? So I called my sister and said, hey, I need a photo booth person. I need someone to come out and do something special for the survivors. And she says, I know this lovely lady that comes and does everything at the Botanical Gardens for her. So I needed her number. Instant connection, where we started talking about our connection with Making Strides and with breast cancer. And I'll go into detail just in a little bit, but I want to play this little video for you. All right. So this is like the end of my speech at Making Strides Against Breast Cancer. I just want to thank the DJ for playing this for me. He put it together and he sent it to Tracy Smith with Making Strides Against Breast Cancer, and she sent it to me. So here it goes.
How many of y'all been thriving and surviving for 15 years plus? If you have, I need all of my survivors to come to the stage, because today is not about me. It is about us. Every year we get a speaker to come up and tell their stories. But when I look out here, you guys have so many stories to tell. We have husbands, wives, daughters, loved ones who support us. Because someone last year that was walking with us is not with us today. And today is not about me. It's about making strides against breast cancer. It's about our thrivers, our survivors, our supporters. Because today is not about me. Let me hear you say, today is not about me. Say it again. Today is not about me. Look at all these thrivers in front of me. Look at all these survivors in front of me. Look at all the people we're walking in honor of.
So today is about us. It's about everybody. I have shared my story over the past 11 years, and I've been asked to come out and share my story at least 7 of those years with making strides against breast cancer, which I am grateful for. But that day when I stood up there, I didn't want to make it about me because so many people have heard my stories. There's so many stories to be told. So when we're talking about making strides against breast cancer, and also this month is Lung Cancer Awareness Month. September was Brain Cancer Awareness Month. Cancer is every day of the year. It happens. Someone's being diagnosed. So we need to make awareness to all cancers and all things that are going on. If you are listening in for again from our YouTube channel, Facebook, or you're on Instagram or wherever you're listening to us, just hit in the comments so I know you're there. And I know you guys can hear me. Before I bring my lovely guests out here, I want to make sure that everything is smooth so I can see I have quite a few people out here. So if you could please just comment, let me know where you're from, what you're doing, and how you heard about us. Just right there in the comments. We're looking forward to our guest today. Well, I told you I met our guest at the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer event, right? She came out. She didn't just come out. She showed out. She showed out. I told her what I needed, and she came out and she did her thing. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her on so we can talk about how we met. And then I'll show you some of the wonderful things that she's doing, not just in the community that I'm in, because she's in a whole different city, but also in the community that she loves and she returned to. So let me bring my guest in today, Miss Tonika. I'm so excited. Hey, sweetie, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well.
You look lovely.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my goodness, I love your background. I'm going to get into everything in your background because I like to do that. I like to know the meanings of things that people sit in front of when they're actually doing this podcast or doing my lives. I find out a lot of things have meaning in the background, but go ahead and introduce yourself to all my millions of listeners.
Oh, wow. So I am known as the photo booth girl. Yeah. I was at the gas station and somebody was like, "Hey, you the photo booth lady." Photo booth lady around town. Yes, I am Tonika McGeachy Dunbar. I am a widow. I am a mom of 3 sons, and I do have a daughter as well. She currently lives in LA. But right now, my photo booth is my therapy, and so far it's going absolutely amazing. I'm very thankful, very thankful.
Well, I am so glad to have you on. And before we jump into everything that's going on, let me make sure I put your handles out here. They're somewhere in my little thing here. So we want to make sure that we're talking about Kapture the Moments. This is your Instagram, am I right?
Instagram, yes.
Instagram. And then if they want to see all your work,
well, that's where if you want to go and book me. Someone called me today and they booked me for Saturday. So that's where they go for all their inquiries. If they want to book me for anything, that's where they go.
That's where they go. Unfortunately, I just called my twin sister and said,
hey,
can you get her number for me, please?
Absolutely.
And she did.
You have honorary VIP preference.
I appreciate that.
From here on out.
Thank you so much. Well, you came and you showed out. And one of the things I want to talk about is like my circle of friends that came to support me. They had a ball at the walk. They had a ball in the actual booth. And what you did was so, so amazing. So I'm going to show a couple of pictures here so you can see that not only you came out, but also the balloon lady
Yes, you know what? I forgot to
who
call
you
her. Tell her
connected me with.
to her. Let me see if I can text her right quick.
Oh, I want her to make sure that she knows how much we appreciate her. And guys, this was at 4 o'clock in the morning. She
Yeah.
came out to the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer. And again, she lives in a whole different city. She connected me with the individual that also did the balloon work. And it looks like that tree is kind of sprouting out the top. This the
It's
lighting was
so
so
cute,
nice.
right?
It's beautiful, but she didn't just bring that. She also brought the 360. So people could come out and take pictures with the 360 and the backdrop. All this stuff I didn't even ask for. You were like, "I got you." And, I see your girl in the background. What is that in the background right
That is her. That is
there?
the photo booth. Yes, that's one of my open air photo booth. That's the one that I actually I had for your event, but it was wrapped and tailored to making strides against breast cancer. So I had all of my booths customized to tailor to your event. So I'm branding and supporting the American Red. No, I'm from American
You're
Red
fine. I look, I used to work for them too. The
Cross.
American Cancer Society,
I
making
had them
strides
branded.
against breast cancer. Yes. So we are always making strides, and I want to make sure that they understand that we were so grateful for you to be there and the things that you were doing for us. You actually came out again. You had the photo booth, and you got a pink one just for us because you like to brand for us.
Absolutely.
And with your photo booth, you said it's become your therapy.
Right.
So let's get into it, right? When
Well,
I met you, we started talking over the phone, and you were telling me that you also had someone, an employee, that was touched by breast cancer. So that tie was so amazing, right? So
mhm,
that tie, knowing that you'll have somebody there who's going to be being involved with the breast cancer movement. And then we started talking about your life and why you started the photo booth. So, can you tell us a little bit about how it started?
how it started. Well,
Mhm.
actually, how it started was my husband bought me a camera, and I still have the camera that he bought me. He bought me this camera a couple of years ago, and through that, I was going around town, Fayetteville, taking pictures of Little League, taking pictures of weddings, taking pictures of everything. Just it was just a little hobby. And
Mhm.
then the hobby was like, hey, let's turn this into some type of extra income. And I did that. And then while I was doing that, people was like, hey, do you know anybody who owns a photo booth? Do you know anybody who owns a photo booth? Do you know anybody who owns a photo booth? I heard that at least 10 times. And I said, you know what? I'm getting ready to figure this thing out. So I start doing my research and I start, looking and searching. And then something told me to go to Facebook.
Mhm.
I went to Facebook. I went to Facebook Marketplace. It was like a year or two before the pandemic. And when I went to Marketplace, this lady out of Tennessee was selling her business. And she was like, a few people have inquired, and she was a photographer too. And
Mhm.
come to find out, we communicated back and forth. I talked to her in November, and then I talked to her again in December. And I said, once I get my money right, the first of the year, when I get my income tax money, I'm going to invest in something because these things are expensive.
Mhm.
I reached out to her again and I was like, hey, have anybody, inquired about, do you still have it? And she was like, I still have it. And I was like,
Uh-huh.
okay. So me and my oldest son, we actually we drove to Charlotte, North Carolina. She came
Oh.
from Tennessee to buy that photo booth right there. That was my first time ever making a purchase on Facebook Marketplace, and
You
that
never know.
money. So I told her, I said, I'm not going to bring you any cash. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the bank and get a cashier's check. What is
Yep.
your name? So I took her name down and I went to the State Employees Credit Union and I got her a cashier check. So me and my oldest son, we drove to Charlotte, North Carolina, and
Mm-hmm.
we met up with this lady. And when I was meeting up with her, she was telling me the car she was driving. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting ready to meet this stranger. So she got
Mm-hmm.
out of the car. And she said, I said, are you such and such? And she said, yes. And then all of a sudden she started telling me her story. She said, and I said, ma'am, I don't mean to be in your business, but can you tell me, why are you selling this? And you know what she said? She said, I'm selling this booth because she had a contract with the Billmore estate up there in Asheboro,
Asheville. Mm-hmm.
like one of the big time photographers up there. And her husband was a tag team partner. And she said, I'm selling this. And a lot of people, I'm seeing the people on my live, they never
Yeah.
heard this story.
Yeah.
So she said, I'm selling this photo booth because my husband passed away. And I was like, I looked at my son looked at me, and I was like, oh boy, this is getting kind
Mm-hmm.
of touchy. So
Yeah.
she said that my husband passed away and she could no longer work the business both at the same time. It was hard trying to find people to help her. So she just wanted to focus on her photography. So she sold me that photo booth, and
Mm-hmm.
she told me where she got it from.
Uh-huh.
I contact the company. When I contact the company, they was like, ma'am, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, you got you a steal.
Mm-hmm.
Right. She just literally bought that. She said it's
Wow.
still under warranty. I hate that she had to go through that to sell it, but you got something special on your hands. And not knowing that a year or two later that I would be in the same shoes that she was in, losing her husband. So,
So let's talk about that real quick. These connections, right? Not knowing your husband bought you your camera. He encouraged you about your, stepping out there. And at that time that you purchased that, how was your home life? I mean, your kids are beautiful. Let me tell you. Look at that. So
what?
that's your husband. What was your husband's name?
His name was Willie D.
All
Willie.
right. And
Mhm.
those are your two sons,
Jaden.
much younger, because they're big boys now.
Yes, they are.
Yes. And so tell me a little bit about your home life at the time before you were in the same shoes as the other lady that you met.
Um, Not knowing, a lot of people didn't know the
Hmm.
elements of the illness that my husband was encountering. Only people who really knew was the ones who were actually close to me,
Hmm.
like my mom, dad, brothers, sisters, close relatives. They knew. But whenever I go out in public, this is what you see now is what you got.
Hmm.
Nobody didn't really know what I was dealing with for a very long time. Um, I can also share the fact that the day that the weekend that he passed away, I came home. We came home from the hospital on a Friday.
Hmm.
Um, that Friday we came home, and whenever he came home from the hospital, I said to him, I said, I don't like how you look.
Hmm.
But prior to that, God was sending me signs. He was sending me signs of everything. I remember talking to one of my girlfriends named Demetrius. Her husband called me and said, "Hey, Tonika, you need to put your boys in and tackle football."
Hmm.
Like, where is practice? And he was like, practice is over here on Ramsey Street. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to drive all the way up to Ramsey Street every day. And I was like,
Hmm.
it's about to be a lot. For that whole week, I said, it's going to be a lot. This is too much.
Hmm.
I said, this is a lot. This is too much for a whole week. Um,
Hmm.
and then I was working for ADT. My family
Hmm.
owns an ADT franchise, and I was working doing a sale. And I
Hmm.
went to this lady house down the street in a new subdivision. And when I approached her house, all of a sudden, these three white doves was flying over me. They was literally flying over me. And then they was like, they was trying to attack me. They literally came to my feet, and they was just walking like this.
Uh-huh.
I was like, that's strange. So I immediately called my mom, and my mom was online watching. I was like, Mom, this right here, this ain't, I don't know what this is, but this ain't good. And from that day forward, on that Friday, I'm going back on that Friday when I picked my husband up from the hospital. When I saw him, when they pushed him, when they wheelchair him out the hospital, that was on the time that COVID, you couldn't really do a lot with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And they pushed him out, they brought him out, and I was like, I don't like how you look right now. I said, I'm going to take you back to the hospital on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Wait, so he was in the hospital, but what was he diagnosed with that started your journey down this road of men's health, making sure? So tell us a little bit about his diagnosis and how you found out about it.
okay, so of course, my husband did 21 years in the Army. And
Mm-hmm.
with that being said, whenever you do 21 years in the Army, you are constantly in shape. You are doing what you're supposed to do. You are
Mm-hmm.
being actively engaged. You are doing your morning PT, etc. And he was diagnosed with diabetes when he was in the Army. And then once he got out of the Army, he was still being kind of active in the community, and all of a sudden he's starting to have some other underlying issues. As far as the diagnosis, it's a list of different diagnoses that he was diagnosed with, but the most current one, he had a surgery on his leg.
Mm-hmm.
He went in for surgery on his leg. He was in the hospital for 2022. He was in the hospital from February all the way up until April.
Wow.
So that's how long he was in the hospital, because he had like 3 surgeries on his leg, and then he went to rehab. And then after that, it didn't look good after the surgery. But the most important thing, or not necessarily important thing, it was more the diabetes and cardiac arrest is what he pretty much died from.
And so when we talk about heart health and we talk about diabetes and we talk about diabetes in our community and what it looks like, it's different for everyone, right?
It's different.
It's different for everyone. And so with your husband being the strong, active
Yeah, he was a
husband,
coach. He was out there getting it in, but you know, you don't know what diabetes look like. You don't know what heart failure look like. You don't know what anything look like.
yeah. And so going back to what you said when you brought him home, you said he doesn't look
He don't look.
that.
He
He
didn't.
don't look well. He don't look like your Willie, right?
No, he didn't look right. I was like, it bothered me. And
Mm-hmm.
then let me share this too. Let me add this.
Mm-hmm.
So he came home on a Friday, and I was booked on a Saturday for a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And this wedding was in South Carolina. And at this wedding, um, it was like, I'm here at this wedding, and I know everybody. So at
Mm-hmm.
this particular wedding, I didn't know anybody. Only people that I knew was the bride and the groom. And that thing bothered me because that wedding was so calm. Like my phone did not ring. Nobody didn't bother me. I even went on Facebook Live and say, listen, I'm at a wedding and I don't know nobody but the bride and the groom. And then, the wedding it was a perfect wedding.
Wow.
But the wedding was preparing me for the storm that was coming the next day. Because that afternoon, that Sunday, um, his mom came to town. She was able to spend time with him on that Sunday, on that
Mm-hmm.
Saturday. And then that Sunday morning, we got up, we cooked breakfast. And the last thing that he asked for me was, can he have a glass of water? And I gave him his glass of water. He walked upstairs. And then when he was walking upstairs, I said, do you want me to help you? You know how men are.
Mm-hmm.
Was
Yep.
like, he was like, nah, I'm fine. So he went upstairs, and when he went upstairs, I saw how he was walking upstairs. It looked like he was walking to heaven,
Mm.
because it was like, it was quiet, and it was like, boom, one step at a time, boom, boom, because it was so hard. His feet were so swollen, was so heavy for him to go up the steps. So it was like, I can help you, but he didn't want me to help him. And
Yeah.
then my house got quiet. Like it was just quiet like this.
The calm
And then
before
I
the
said,
storm.
I told my son Jabril, and I said, let me go and check on Willie and make sure he's okay. And when I went to go check on Willie to see if he was okay, it was like, you just like, it's, how can you just, words cannot describe it. It's like,
Yeah.
he's in the bed and he's unconscious. And that's
So
how I
the
met my husband.
calm before the storm.
The calm before the storm.
And that Christmas tree that is behind you is significant, right?
Because that's the Christmas tree that he saw. That Christmas tree has been up for it'll be 2 years next year. So that's the
2
same
years.
Christmas tree that was up where my husband was living.
Wow. So through this, through all of this that's going on, you're now a young widow to your 3 boys and your daughter. What else came your way during this storm?
What else came my way?
And I'm saying the positive things that came your way. Because you said your photo booth is now your therapy.
Yes.
And how did that come about that that was something you wanted to do? And I also know that you started a movement. Actually, that picture that's behind you has something to do with that movement.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that, because through everyone's storm, through all that we go through, I always say, I didn't, cancer is a beast. Cancer sucks. There's no way around that. And I share my glow so I can meet people like you. It's not in vain. We connect. And I have a family member with diabetes. And as soon as you started talking about that, I started making sure that I'm checking on him, seeing him. I did it anyway. I have a family member with heart disease. Just all these things we think about, and we always think that they're going to still be here, or things are going to get better and things are going to happen. So we want to make sure that through our storm, we can find other things that bring us some joy. So
Yeah.
tell me about your therapy. Tell me about what you did, what you started.
So we're going to talk about how the photo booth business has really started.
Mhm. Yes.
So,
I got some pictures too.
yes. So with that being said, so it was this guy that sung at our wedding.
Mhm.
At our wedding, and he called me up and he was like, "Hey, I'm want to send out my condolence to you and your family, and I wanted to see if you still doing your photo booth therapy. And I got a good friend. He's throwing his wife a surprise birthday party, and he really wants a photo booth. And because everybody's telling him that everybody's actually referring him to you, but we telling him that you just lost your husband, and we don't know if you want to do it or not." So I was like, this was like a week later, and I was like, you know what? I'm not really in the mood of to be doing no photo booth right now. And then whenever I told him that I'll call him back. I let him know. And then all of a sudden, a spirit came over me and was like, if you don't get your tail up out this house and start doing something,
Mhm.
because, this wasn't good. Because I'm telling you, as far as grieving, a lot of you guys didn't know, but my mama and my sister, they saw the meanness in me. I was
Yeah.
mean. I was mean in the beginning. I
Yeah.
was mean. So, and those are certain stages of grief that you go through. So I was mean because I didn't, I was taking it out on everybody. I lost a lot of weight. I couldn't hardly eat. But with that being said, when he called me and he said, they really, wouldn't mind having the photo booth. And I was like, you know what? I have all these pictures in my house. I love taking pictures. So you know what? I called him back and I was like, listen, what you want me to do? And he was like, I said, I need this, I need that, I need that. And then all of a sudden he sent that over and he was like, well, how much you charge? I said, you know what? at this time, I don't even know. Just give me what you want to give me, because I wasn't even thinking about no money. I was just trying to, get out of the house. So the guy gave me $600. I was like, hold up. Is this really $600, or is this just, I'm like, sir, I know I wasn't going to charge you $600. I owe you some change. He was like, no,
No.
no, you keep this. And I was like, hold up. So he's giving me $600, and I'm already doing my research about starting my own photo booth, even though I already had, but I was trying to get things in line.
Yeah.
And, I have girlfriends in other states who are very successful, who making six figures in photo booth industry. And I was like, hold up. So let me see. And from that moment on to right now, my business has flourished. Like, I have been busy all year long, and a lot of repeat customers is coming to me. I try to make sure that my photo booth is affordable. And if my photo booth is not affordable, and if you would like my services, call and talk to me.
Yeah.
Don't let my prices scare you. My prices is up there for a reason, but don't let my prices scare you. Call me so we can have a conversation, so we can work out those prices. I am a preferred vendor at the Botanical Gardens, where your twin sisters works at. And I felt like before I even said that I was a preferred vendor, I told her, I said, listen, y'all might need to make me a preferred vendor, because I'm always up in here, like every week I'm here. So I also say this to say that things that you speak out your mouth, and those words that rolls off in your tongue, is very powerful.
Yeah.
Like I said last week that I'm going to be taking clients from like local and state wide. I'm gonna go everywhere.
Yeah.
This weekend I was just in Clinton, North Carolina.
Uh-huh.
I did major corporate events, like working with you, and it's
Yeah.
just so amazing. So if you speak those things will come to pass. You have to nourish your tongue. If you don't
Exactly.
nourish your tongue, you're gonna kill it. So I try to speak those positive things, upon everybody, because you just never know.
What you're doing, and what's so amazing is that I called you at the last minute.
The last minute.
Not only did I call you at the last minute, I said, I am a volunteer. And we don't like to pay for anything for our making strides against breast cancer survivors. We want them to enjoy everything, but we got a sponsor, and the sponsor this time paid to have a photo booth. And when you gave me your price, I said, girl, I'm gonna need you to add a little bit more to that.
Because I was scared. Numbers. I am scared of numbers, but I can truly say that that was the biggest payout that I ever received. I was like, whoa! I see how those
Your
girls
branding.
did it.
And
So
even after the event, they wanted to meet you. Is Intel. They wanted to meet you. They want you at their corporate events. Now, I understand about donations. I understand about fundraising, but I also understand about being paid for what you're worth. Tasha Prescott taught me that.
and
You know,
I saw that she was watching. Yes.
yes, yeah, she's a preferred vendor out at the Botanical Gardens. Y'all, she was just there this past weekend, right?
She's dope. I still got to make my appointment with her.
She is. She does all my branding, photographs, all my family photographs. She's just amazing. But you want people to pay you what you're worth. And I did call you at the last minute. Not only did you connect me, you connect me to the balloon lady to come out. You guys came out at 4:30 in the morning on a Saturday.
Hold on, remind you, let me stop you. I didn't get no sleep because I had an event that night that was over at 10, and you wanted me to be there at 3. Now I'm an hour and a half, so I left that one at 10, came home. I don't even know. I just know that it's this lady in Rayford that has a boutique, and in the back of her boutique, she has some juice. She gave me some energy juice. That energy juice kept me going because I didn't get no sleep from Thursday. I didn't get no sleep until Saturday around 2 o'clock when I came back home.
when you came back home, and you came there and also had dental work done,
Yes.
and you set up the 360, wrapped it, branded it for the event. You set up, you purchased the actual pink photo
That flammable.
booth
Mm-hmm.
because it was going to be in the morning time and the light up, the clear one wouldn't have worked. So
Mm-hmm.
you made sure you got all the extras for that event. And you were like, I got you. I got you. And the fact that you did that and came out and shared that moment with us, that was the highlight. I mean, I think it outdid the pink Mustang that was out there, the big boat, the coffee thing.
Yeah.
Everybody was
Everybody
in
in
that photo
the
booth.
photo booth. Yes.
Everyone was in that photo booth. We have a couple of comments up here that folks have been putting through.
Oh,
Um, so everyone needs to make sure that they check you out. Everyone needs to make sure that you check us out because we're going to be doing some things together. So your
yeah.
prices are so low. They are. However, we make them affordable to most, but people need to make sure they take in your quality and your professionalism when you come to an event. So it's so important to make sure that people know what you're worth. And again, I met you through my twin sister. I
Mm-hmm.
said, I have someone for you. So I am so happy that you made sure that you captured the moments when we were going through for the American Cancer Society. Now, there's something else that you've been working on that I want to talk about. And that is your beauty behind the lens. What is this to you?
Yes, the beauty behind the lens.
Tell
So
me about it.
April the 16th, 2022, I always wanted to have a women's empowerment. Always.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was talking to one of my cousin Kiafa, and for my 35th birthday party, I'm kind of extra. So I went out and it was during the year that Tyler Perry had this big old event at his house. He had like all this extravaganza stuff in his backyard. So I wanted to do that too. But my money wasn't like his money. But you remember, I'm used to my tongue, right?
Yep.
I made it happen. So I went and I bought me a huge Cinderella tent, put it in my backyard. I had a guy to come in to video my party. I had a DJ. I had a caterer. I had live entertainment. I had a stand-up comedian for my 35th birthday because that was my way of, empowering people. And then
Mm-hmm.
I said, you know what? One day I'm going to have me a women's empowerment. I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to have it somewhere. And during the time that I lost my husband and then all this stuff, started to happen. And I had all these cameras and I was like, you know what? I'm going to have an event. It's going to be called Beauty Behind the Lens.
Yes.
And that is my mission statement right here.
Beauty behind the lens focus on helping women find their purpose during the times they least expect it. Like we talk about the uninvited guests. When you
Absolutely.
least expect something going on, your goal and your vision statement is so powerful. And the picture that you have behind you also speaks on your event.
So during the event, I'm going to go up right here. I'm going to
Mhm.
turn it. During the event, Tiffany Reagan, she is a local artist here. She was drawing this piece while the event was going on. And I was like, wow, that is so nice. So she'll go into your house and she'll do a drawing on your wall. She's so anointed with her craft. So I wish
Mhm.
her the best. But the beauty behind the lens is to also let other people know that whatever you're going through in life, you just got to, stay focused and you got to stay prayed up.
Mhm.
A lot of people ask me, how do you do it? How do you keep going forward? And
Mhm.
all that I say is that you have to have a relationship with your higher beings, and that is God. I was
Mhm.
raised in the church. My mom, dad was a pastor. So I know what it's like to have a relationship with God.
Mhm.
And with that being said, God is so amazing.
Yes.
I gets up every morning and I'm not the type of girl that just have to go out here and do all of this. I just go into my little secret closet and I just give thanks for everything that he has done for me, because I can't fathom the way that he has blessed me and my family. And it's just it's it's just amazing. I just
Yeah.
thank God every day.
When you talk about the uninvited guest and your podcast to be coming out
Yes,
soon, because I
yes,
will help you with that.
yes, the uninvited guest.
The uninvited guest has been so many things to you and meant so many things. So when you talk about the uninvited guest, what is that to you?
What is that? So it's pretty much talking about like everybody in life goes through something.
Mm-hmm.
And you never know what type of uninvited guest is going to come into your circle. The
Yeah.
uninvited guest can be something, it can be very well a job, it can be a career.
Mm-hmm.
It don't always have to be negative,
Yeah.
but it's how you handle it and how you deal with it. For me, the uninvited guest for my season right now that I have just overcome, I'm not gonna say overcome, is the death and the loss of my husband.
Yes.
That was the uninvited guest. That was the chapter of my life that I had to close.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, I don't know what type of uninvited guest is going to come next.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And
But you,
you just got to be prayed up, and you just got to be mindful.
mm-hmm.
I was married for 15 years. We was together for 18.
Wow.
So it's just, you just never know. The uninvited guest can be anything.
Anything, whether it's positive or negative, whether
Hmm.
it's coming to interrupt or push you,
Right.
like your photo booth is your
Yeah.
therapy.
My phone,
And
my therapy.
wait a minute, we can't get off this live. I normally do not talk about politics.
Oh boy.
But today we
Yeah.
are going to talk about it. Tell me again, what did you just run for?
So I just ran for the Hope County School Board. It was an amazing experience. Oh, I felt like I met like 10,000 people. And I know like 30,000 people went out to vote. I literally met 10,000 people.
So,
Yes.
what made you run for the school board with
So,
all the things that you have going on?
um,
And your photo booth is your therapy. You are now empowering women. And now you decide that you want to go run for somebody's
I
school board.
know, like, what the world? Like, who does this? So, it was actually brought to my attention a couple of months ago, and she was like, "You know what? You'll be a good fit for this. You should do it, because a lot of people, know you. You in the community. You got kids go to school here. You should do it." Yes, I used to be an educator. I used to work in Cumberland County Schools, and I also work for the Fort Bragg Army Education Center. So I think I did good. I ran the race. I ran a good campaign. I met some awesome people. I lost the race by a little over a shy of maybe 300 votes.
Mm-hmm.
In the top three. Listen,
And this was your first time,
this is
right?
my first time. And I will run again in
Okay.
2024. No, yeah, 2024. I will run again. And I
Okay.
also heard that a good thing, another thing, that I
Mm-hmm.
opened up the doors for other women in this county
Mm-hmm.
to run for politics. Not
Yeah.
necessarily, well, I'm going to say we do have women in politics, but we didn't have nobody as young as I was in politics. So listen, young women, get out there. They got, it's a county commissioner seat. 2 seats is going to be coming up.
Oh,
No,
wow.
have no desires to run for the county commission. No.
Yeah.
But ladies, it's 2 seats that's going to be up in 2024. Not necessarily be up, it's going to be open or available.
Mm-hmm.
And I encourage these females to go out there and get your blessing. Be a good servant to the community, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah. And what county were you in when you
I'm
were
in
running?
Hope County, Right
Polk
for
County.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes. You are from my old stumping ground.
Yeah,
Small world, right?
yeah.
Small world. So you will be running again in
I'm gonna
2023.
run again. If the Lord's will, I will be running again.
And what does 2023 look like for you coming up? What?
2023. I don't know. I'm just thankful.
Mm-hmm.
I don't make New Year's resolutions.
Mm-hmm.
I do weekly, monthly, daily goals.
Yeah.
Um, I'm just going to be blessed to be alive to see
Mm-hmm.
2023. I do know that my calendar is getting full.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm just going to be focusing on me and the kids, me and the boys.
Yeah, because your son just left in
My son,
October.
he just left. And let me tell you about this. So, a simple hello or a simple, hey girl, how you doing? Will take you places that you can't even imagine. So,
Mm-hmm.
I was out campaigning, working the polls, getting people to vote for me. This lady came up. She was working the polls. She was working for another candidate. She was like, "Girl, I'm jet lash." I said, "Why?" She was like, "Girl, I just got back from Seattle, Washington." I said, "Seattle, Washington?" I said, "My son is living there now." And she
Mm-hmm.
said, "Girl, let me tell you about this church. Tell him to go to this church, such and such and such and such." So I called my son on the phone and I said, I met this lady and she said that you should, find this church and you should
Mm-hmm.
go to this church. To make a long story short, why the lady gonna send me a picture yesterday of
Uh-huh.
my son and her sister in Seattle, Washington, saying, "Oh yeah, he been coming to the church twice, and right here." I was like, "What?" I was like, "The connections will take you places that
Yeah.
doors can't even." I'm just like, "Oh my gosh!" So I say this to say that news travel,
Yes,
and
it does.
I feel like even with my photo booth business, it has taken me places that I can't even imagine just by a conversation.
Yeah.
So I remember I was at an event a couple of months ago, and somebody asked me, "Why are you telling people that you're doing this?" And
Mm-hmm.
I was told a couple of months ago prior, everywhere you go, you tell people what you do.
Yeah.
If you don't have a business card or whatever, go get you some made.
Yep.
Yes, they say, can you, can you stop? Oh, I'm sorry, I got a call. They say, can you don't stop passing out business cards?
Yeah.
Because I had like a little scan card
Yeah.
that it works. It's good for the younger generation. But let
Yeah.
me tell you something. Y'all better go get y'all some business cards because they love these business cards. They love the business cards.
Business cards are where they're at. I have I have to get my business cards made for my new firm. So I get it. I need my business cards. I got the cute little where you can scan, but folks want their business
They
cards. They
want the
have to
business
touch
card.
it, right?
They
They
want
have
the
to
business
touch
card.
it. Well,
And then,
I
and
go
whenever
ahead.
when I give them the business cards, I get a call. Is this the photo booth lady? I need me a shirt to say the photo booth lady.
Look, you
So
need to go ahead and coin that.
yes, I'm the
Go
photo booth.
ahead. And you said this is the website where they can meet, they can inquire on your services, right? It
Yeah.
is affordable, guys.
Hmm.
However, you're getting so much more, the professionalism, the fact that she brands your own stuff. Do not book my 2 dates that I got scheduled though.
Yeah,
And
yes, I'm getting a new calendar. New Year is becoming my Bible.
yes, please make sure that you check her out actually on Instagram as well. If any of my guests right now that are in the comments, if you have anything that you would like to ask Tonika, please do let me know. You had some wonderful comments that I've put up here, and folks are just raving about how you do your work. And
Mhm.
I'm so glad that we met. I'm so happy that you were able to show your glow. I always say that this podcast or my lives or my YouTube channel is not just about chemotherapy or cancer. Let's talk about the glow. I always say the glow doesn't define me. I define the glow. It is an amazing thing. So, what would you like to say on your way out? Because I know you're a busy lady. I'm so happy that we set up this time on a Monday of all
Yes,
things.
on Monday.
On a Monday of all things.
Hmm.
And of course, everybody keeps saying, please run again.
I will. I'm gonna run again because, like I said, I met so many amazing people.
Yes.
Can you go to? Let me tell you about this. Can you go back to the very first, like when you first go up to when you first open up the website?
Uh huh.
Okay, that right there. Can you hold it? So someone called me for this wedding at the last minute, right?
Mm-hmm.
They called me at the wedding and it was still fresh. And it was fresh. And then everybody was like looking at me. All those guys right there, they
Mm-hmm.
was in the military with my husband. They were, and I was like, God, they just pointing. It was like, yeah, that's Dunbar wife. That's Dunbar wife. And then one guy came up and said, why y'all, what's going on? What's going on with Dunbar? They didn't know. Some of them didn't know that he had passed away. And I was
Wow.
like, you know what? Let me go on in the bathroom because it was still fresh. But
Mm-hmm.
those guys were in the military with my husband, and the guy in the back on the left
Uh-huh.
side. I won't never forget. A couple of years ago, it was probably about at least 10 years ago. My husband would come home from the army, and he was like, "It's this guy in the unit. He said that y'all went to high school together." And he would told me who his name was, and I was like, I do not know who you talking about. Well,
Mm-hmm.
he told you, your mama, your daddy, your brother, the street, and I was like, who is this dude? And I'm like thinking, come to find out, it was such and such because I know him as his nickname.
Yeah.
People know me as my nickname, and I was like, you know what? That's why my children don't have a nickname. Mm-mm. Because I was like, you talking about such and such? And he was like, oh, that's what they call him? Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I did not know his real name.
Oh,
So, but
wow.
that
Small
wedding was at
world.
the Botanical Gardens, and I was like, oh, that was so sweet. But
Oh.
to close out the uninvited guests, I will say that whatever uninvited guest comes your way, just keep pressing, just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
You just never know. Don't give up.
Don't give up. And also, Jeanette asks, where are you located? And she is located in Fayetteville, North Carolina. However, she travels everywhere. And Jeanette, she actually traveled to Charlotte to get her stuff. All right. And also, you asked, when is your next women empowerment seminar? What I will do is make sure that I put it on.
Uh-oh.
That's
Uh-oh.
okay. We make things work here.
Can I call
So
you
someone
back?
asked,
Call you right back.
when is your next women empowerment seminar?
I am sorry. It got disconnected for some
Yeah,
reason.
it's okay.
Oh, when is the next women's seminar? Listen, so I am working on something
Mm-hmm.
really big.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to have an artist to come to the next Beauty Behind the Lens.
And I
Um,
won't say a word.
yes, and I'm not gonna disclose the artist,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just waiting. I am waiting for the
Mm-hmm.
schedule to come out.
Yes.
But I don't necessarily want it. It's a gospel artist, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't want her to sing.
Uh-huh.
I don't want I want it for couples to come out to
Mm-hmm.
talk about what to listen about
Mm-hmm.
the importance of health
Yeah.
because I'd rather have good health over money on any given day.
Say it again.
And with that being said, I want to, have somebody to come and talk to men about diabetes, suicidals, depression,
Mm-hmm.
anything that can trigger the uninvited guest.
Yeah.
And seek help, seek counseling. A lot of people don't believe in counseling
Yeah.
or getting counseling. So that's what I want to close out. Like, if you are you dealing with something, just go and seek help.
Yeah.
All need help. There's no one perfect.
There's no one perfect. Well, on that note, Miss Tonika, thank you so much for
Hey,
joining me.
this
It
was,
wasn't that bad, right?
not that bad.
It was pretty good, let me tell you.
Yes.
If y'all don't know, when you come on my live, when people say, "What are you going to be talking about?"
Mm.
We're going to just have a conversation.
It's a
I,
conversation.
and just a conversation. I would not tell her what we'll be talking about. The only thing I ask when you come on, I ask and say, "Is anything off limits?" And if nothing's off limits, we just chat about what we chat about.
Yeah.
So I am so happy for having you on. I can't wait to have you on again. And don't
Yes.
book my 2 dates.
Yes, I will. What you said it was what?
I'm gonna tell you offline so nobody be like, I'll keep them
Mhm.
2 days.
Yeah. Well, I do know that
Mhm.
making strides against breast cancer, they have already booked me for 2023.
Yep, making
So,
strides have already booked you
and
for that.
I just hope it's not one of the dates that is one of the homecomings, because October is homecoming month. Everybody's doing it. I tell you, out of all the months in the year, October is the most busiest month in the history of America or whatever. It's so much
Oh,
going on in October.
photo booth. Yes, you're gonna have to start franchising. Let me tell
Yeah,
you, and we're gonna talk about that later as well.
I
Well,
actually got
I want to truly thank you, Tanika, for coming on. And yes, it's all about being booked for 2023. Thank you again. I appreciate your time. Guys, make sure in the comments, show her some love. Show her some love. Thank you, Tanika. Thank
you
you so
welcome.
much. Well, guys, this was wonderful. I want to thank you guys for coming out and sharing your Monday with me. Please know that the glow doesn't define who you are. You define the glow. I say it all the time and I mean it. The glow doesn't define me. I define the glow. What I do, what I've been through, all the uninvited guests who have knocked at my door or kicked it down or came through the window or decided that the back door was the way to come in, I still go through because I'm defining how I'm walking my walk and I'm defining my glow. We're going to be out here again in December. I have a couple of folks who are coming out, very interesting conversations. And again, if you want to define your glow, just email me at chemoglow@gmail.com. Thank you so much for coming out, and I appreciate you guys. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. I think I got everybody. Awesome conversation. Thank you so much, Miss Edna, for jumping on. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye. Remember, the glow doesn't define me, I define the glow.